Let me tell you a story. It's one of those stories that kind of sticks with you, you know? It gets under your skin and, well, you might not forget it. Especially the next time you're on a long, dark road and think about pulling over for a late-night bite. It all starts with a very simple, very normal decision.
Seriously, think about it. You've been driving for hours, your eyes are getting heavy, and then you see it. A small lit-up place promising hot tea and just a moment of rest. It feels like a lifesaver, right? But after you hear this story, you might just think twice.
So picture this. We've got two couples from Mumbai, Neha and Abhijit, and their best friends Rohit and Pooja. These four were super close, the kind of friends that are basically family. They just had this amazing week in Goa, having the time of their lives, making memories. They had absolutely no idea what kind of nightmare was waiting for them on the drive home.
And here's where it all starts to go wrong. They left Goa around 8:30 in the evening. The plan? Drive through the night, get back to Mumbai by 4 a.m. just in time for work. But you know how those late night drives are. Abhijit was driving and for just a split second he dozed off. The car swerved, heading right for the divider. That jolt woke everyone up. It was a terrifyingly close call.
They were all shaken up and completely exhausted. They knew they couldn't keep going like this. Rohit was too tired to take the wheel, so they all agreed, let's stop, we need tea. They just had to find a place to pull over and get their heads straight. And just like that, they saw it. A little ways down this desolate highway, a small roadside eatery, a Dhaba, was glowing in the darkness. It looked perfect. It was quiet, set back from the road, exactly what they needed. Or so they thought. The moment they pulled in, things just started to feel strange. First off, there were no other cars. The only light came from a single yellow bulb that was flickering like crazy, making the shadows dance. And behind the counter was this really old, really thin man just standing there, completely silent. He didn't even look up when they walked in. The whole place just felt off.
So they finally get his attention, and Neha, trying to be cheerful, asks him what's good to eat. The old man, without even making eye contact, just mumbles, "Nothing is good, and everything is." His voice was totally flat, zero emotion. That bizarre answer just freaked Neha out. She got this horrible feeling and wanted to leave right then and there.
While the others are trying to decide what to do, Rohit says he needs to find the washroom. The old man just silently points to a curtained-off area, so Rohit pushes through the curtain and finds himself in this dark outdoor space behind the Dhaba, and there are these two small, concrete stalls just standing there in the dark.
He uses one of the stalls, and as he steps out, he hears it. A disgusting, rhythmic chewing sound. A wet, crunching noise. Kadin, kadin. It was coming from the other stall, the one with the door closed.
His mind just starts racing. Who would be eating like that, inside a bathroom stall? And the sound was getting louder, more frantic. And against all his better judgment, this terrible curiosity, this gut-wrenching need to know, it just took over. He fought every single instinct screaming at him to run. He reached out and he pushed the door to the other stall. It just swung open, without a sound. And in that exact second, a flash of lightning lit up the entire sky. And he saw it. He saw everything inside.
The inside, it was a complete nightmare. The walls were just covered in these dark, wet splatters that could only be one thing: blood. It looked like a slaughterhouse, but that wasn't even the worst part. Not even close.
Right there, in the middle of the floor, a woman was hunched over a body. It was the old man from the counter, and she was eating him, literally tearing at him with her hands and her teeth. Rohit just froze. His blood ran cold. This was impossible. He stumbled back, turned, and just ran. He burst back into the main room, heart pounding out of his chest, a scream stuck in his throat. But he stopped dead in his tracks, because there, calmly kneading dough for their food, was the old man, totally fine, exactly where he'd left him. And in that moment, Rohit felt like he was losing his mind. So while Rohit is frantically trying to explain this impossible thing he just saw, Neha's phone rings. But the signal inside is awful. The call keeps breaking up. She says, "I'll be right back," and steps outside, hoping for a better connection near their car. After her call ends, she turns to head back inside, and that's when her eyes catch something she hadn't noticed before. There was this big old wooden board near the entrance, absolutely caked in what looked like years of dirt and dust. Driven by that same weird feeling that got to Rohit, she walks over to the sign.
She uses her sleeve and starts wiping away this thick layer of grime, slowly revealing the faded letters painted underneath.
And there was a date written on it, a year, and that year was 2014. A wave of pure ice-cold dread just washed over her. The sign said the Dhaba had been permanently closed since 2014, for years. They weren't in a Dhaba at all. They were in an abandoned ruin. Total panic set in. She turned and sprinted back inside to warn everyone. But the second she burst through the door, that single yellow bulb went out, plunging the whole room into pitch black darkness. The door slammed shut behind her. And from the blackness, where the old man had been standing, this horrifying, inhuman voice echoed through the room. "Now you too are my guest."
The next thing any of them remember is waking up. It was still dark, and they were all lying on the cold ground right next to their car. They were dizzy, confused, their heads were pounding. It felt like they had all been knocked out cold.
And that's when they learned the truth. A truck driver saw them and pulled over. He helped them up and asked what on earth they were doing at this old abandoned ruin. He told them, yeah, this used to be a Dhaba, but it had been shut down and left to rot since 2014. There was nothing there, and no.
This whole thing happened back in 2019, and you can bet they did not stick around. They jumped in that car and got out of there as fast as humanly possible. But an experience like that, it leaves a permanent scar. To this day, none of them will drive on a highway at night. They never, ever stop at unfamiliar roadside places. It's a memory, a terror that they will never, ever escape.
So, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next time you're on a dark highway, tired, and you see a single light beckoning from the side of the road, are you going to see it as a safe place to rest? Or are you going to remember the story and just keep driving?